get so excited every time. Good morning, party people.
Welcome to The Breakdown. Nath, Johnny.
Today we are breaking down the brand new Architects album for those that wish to exist.
Oh, we've been waiting a few months for this bad boy, and we are kind of lucky being in Australia because we're a little bit in the future, so we've had all day to listen to this.
Tell you what, the future is looking good. Today we're going to go through the album, break it down song by song, tell you what we thought of it, what we think you might like, and hopefully give you a little taste of things to come. Let's go.
Just to get yourself to heaven.
The first song here, Do You Dream of Armageddon?
Not really. I kind of dream of things like puppies and laying on the beach drinking beer, but you know, whatever. Each to their own, I suppose.
If you want to unsubscribe now, go ahead. The first track here really does set the theme for the album, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a cool little introduction. It's a nice little vocal build-up, and I think that his vocals here sort of really do set the mood and the tone and the vibe for a lot of the album. Yeah, just a really nice little introduction.
Yeah, it really is what it should be, an introduction. So it doesn't just jump straight into it. It's nothing too heavy. It really has a slow build here. A lot of strings, a lot of instrumentation behind it there.
Ambience.
It's a short one, which leads straight into track number 2, Black Lungs, which we have actually reacted to when it first came out on the other channel. So if you guys want to go check that out, we're not going to go into detail on all the singles we've already done before. We're going to give you only the brand new stuff.
Ooh.
Giving Blood, track 3 on the album. As you can hear, that has that real rolling drum line intro into it.
Yeah, super high energy tom beat going through there. I really love the bending like string, sort of almost got like a sort of synthy vibe to it.
Eerie sound to it,
Yeah,
doesn't
really
it?
cool intro. The chorus in this song, it's huge. Like,
Yeah, it's massive.
Great vocal tones in it. It's what we love from Sam.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool thing in the kind of the pre-chorus here. Has this really cool like falsetto that leads into it because it has a really aggressive chorus. That falsetto that leads into it here, it kind of builds and grows into the chorus, which I really like it.
Gives you massive feels. There's a post-chorus that I absolutely love. It goes into half-time. The orchestral stuff behind it is really massive. Just huge sounds from the boys delivering so far with this album.
So here's a note here I put down, the minute 4 mark, to jump straight in.
The water's polluted. My feelings caught in the spill. Nobody said that it would be safe up here. I never said that I was giving blood for the unbelievers.
Super cool.
And it just smacks in the face. There is a lot of those moments on this album. There's plenty of hard stuff, but there's some really cool use of, you know, Sam just jumping into this falsetto.
Yeah,
and really taking control.
So, I mean, in the lead up to this, a lot of people were saying this very like, oh, bring me the Architects. And there is a reason that's getting that, because just like Bring Me did, they've gone down a path that has that little bit more mass appeal, but they've done it so well with like, while still keeping their integrity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I think is awesome. So that is Giving Blood. Discourse is dead.
Track number 4. Now, I know you touched on it when you're having a little joke about the Bring Me the Architects in the last song, but not gonna lie, get huge Bring Me the Horizon vibes at the start of this song. So not mad about it.
No, not at all. I think this is probably the first time on the album that, even from the track title, you can see their Discourse is dead. They're really like stepping up and kind of going, you know what, the state of affairs in the world needs to be addressed. This song is kind of all about that like cancel culture, about speaking up and speaking out because people are so quick to like take sides and judge. There's a line in the song I really like here in the bridge. It says, 2 beating hearts, 2 poles apart. Whoa.
What do we love, Nathan?
We love a whoa.
We love a whoa. Just a sucker for a whoa.
But I think that's really, it is. It's like saying like, we're so focused on taking sides rather than being in the same like race together.
100%. Look, they've always been a very socially and politically aware band, and I think it's an important message that if people just sort of stop screaming at each other over the internet, with
they
their
could listen to
fingers,
screaming in albums.
and they could just have a chat. Look, I love this song, the heaviness of this song. We get that instantly recognizable Architect's brutality through the verse when it kicks in. Loving the addition of these deep screams behind Sam's vocals.
Yeah.
It just adds such another dimension.
Layer.
Oh, I love a
Like
layer.
an onion.
Yeah, look, we get that syncopated double kick and guitar riff sort of stuff that we love, that metalcore Architects. It really hits hard. Chorus is massive again.
Yeah.
Huge
Now I'm
vocal tones.
gonna hit you guys into the minute 20 mark here because this bit here, it's just so aggressive and hits so hard, and I really love it. So check this out.
already.
Round up the you mustn't sit in the shade, 'cause it's blasphemous. We're all sisters and brothers, but if you want it, then fuck you. So sing us.
That's a super aggressive line. Round up the ambivalent, you mustn't sit in the shade because it's blasphemous to abstain from the hate. We're all sisters and brothers, but if you're one or the other, then fuck you. Whew, really not holding
Sammy,
back
bro.
on that one, are they?
Tell us what you really think, bro.
I think you did, man.
Yeah,
I think you did.
Yeah, no, good call.
Yeah, as I said, the album just rolls on from there. So the next song is Dead Butterflies.
Dead bubble flies.
It's Dead Butterflies, which again, we've already done a video for that one, so we're not going to talk on that one too much there. But again, it kind of rolls on there. I really love that. Why does defeat always taste so bittersweet? I want to live and die in peace. It's a cool line from that
That's all
song.
we ever want.
That is all we ever want. An Ordinary Extinction, man. They're not messing around with the start of that one,
How
are they?
thick do you want your riffs?
I love them thick. Thick and juicy riffs.
Yeah.
Hey, I really like the almost industrial vibe to this song.
It's so good. It is so good. That industrial sounding lead synth at the start is just so great. That's got to be one of their heaviest riffs. It just
Straight into this.
It's
I will
just
say there's
so
quite
heavy.
a few riffs on this. For people that worry that we're softening up on songs like Dead Butterflies, man, you listen to that and that riff, it's just like some straight chugging going on.
the synth, how it sort of bends down almost, it's just sort of shifts into almost like it almost sounds out of key, but it just makes that riff just sound so filthy.
Yeah, I really like that.
There's just so much I love about this song. I love the verse pulling back into an almost sort of like a dancey vibe.
Yeah, there is
which
a
comes
little
out of
electronic
nowhere.
that come through. Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, it's cool. Chorus, when it kicks in, is massive. The choruses on this album are
All
huge.
of them massive. They're all
so huge.
I think that's probably the difference here. I don't want to say they're formulaic, but they do kind of stick to the formula. It goes verse, verse, chorus, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, and hits again. And the same song structure for most of the songs, but in a way that the songs are all so unique and so different.
Yeah.
If you look at them on paper, you go, oh, it's all the same song, but then you listen to it and every song is different.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're shifting it up a lot. They're changing it up a lot in the songs. One song may have a pre-chorus. It may only have a pre-chorus on the second verse. It may have a post-chorus. It may have
the pre and
three
post, the same
separate
thing that tie back, yeah.
3 separate interludes. We get Sam's high-pitched, sort of really aggressive cleans, very reminiscent of old Architects in the chorus of this song, but super intelligible. So it's a great heavy chorus.
Now this again was one of those songs that really speaks on, they're very, very outspoken on climate change, looking up to the planet. An Ordinary Extinction is a great tie back to that. Just the standout line for this one for me is, we're stood at the end of the world. It really is saying we're on the precipice of destroying the world, what are we gonna do about it?
The interlude riff in this song is absolutely massive. I will be honest though, I'm not 100% sure about the use of the falsetto over that.
Okay.
Or the level of it. It's almost like it had to be boosted to combat that really freaking heavy sludgy riff, but it might grow on me a little bit. And I love the extension of the chorus riff at the end.
Yeah,
it's
for
really
sure.
cool.
For all players in a symphony that fights against impermanence again and again and again and again.
Impermanence. This is probably going to be a lot of people's standout track on the album, I think. Not just because of the special guest.
Represent our Aussie brother Winston. I mean, he's not our brother.
He's not that brother. Winston McCall from Parkway Drive comes into this track. There's also a fun little reference. I don't know if it's intentional, but at the very start of it, there's the line of, "Can you see the writing on the wall?" Ooh. A little throw to Parkway Drive song
there for any fans in the house.
The thing I love about this song is the tempo changes so many times.
Yep.
From the first verse into the chorus to the post-chorus, straight into the bridge. There are so many different things, and this is probably the first time there's a proper breakdown.
Oh yeah, look, this I am like loving on this album the really slow, thick, sludgy riffs. It's a total new sort of thing for them to really focus on, to get their aggression through these more pulled back, slower tempo riffs. But then when the chorus kicks in, as you heard, it speeds up the tempo, like you said. Little bits of double kick in the chorus riff are super powerful. It's just, this is a real banger. And then when Winston comes in.
Yeah, so Winston, and I've said this before, he's probably my favourite vocalist in heavy metal. He's got such a powerful voice, and he's really let rip on this one. I'll give you a little taste right here at the 2:37 mark.
Do you really wanna live forever? 'Cause I was afraid that I will never truly live. I'll never truly live.
Man, he knows how to hit hard with those things. He doesn't even need much music behind it. Like that, just his voice alone hitting that break.
Yeah, I love how they've let Winston just have his voice alone to kick the breakdown. It's very reminiscent of a lot of Parkway's breakdowns where they just said, "Hey, bro, just scream us in this one." I love the left-right chugs in the speakers on this breakdown. Pay attention to that.
It helps you have good headphones. So we'll say that one. Obviously, we're always using JBL, but if you guys want to check them out, link is down in the description. Little plug right there. But it does make a massive difference to anything like this, because there is so much amazing production on this album that probably would be missed if you're just listening to it in a general sound system. So if you can listen to it in headphones, do it.
The whole album, the whole way through, we'll probably touch on it again in other songs, but there are so many little nuances that make this album like really special, really well crafted, and really cleverly written and put together. You know, you may just hear a little thing on the second or third listen that you didn't notice before, and it could make that song one of your favorites. Not gonna lie, with Impermanence though, I really would have liked, as cliche as it is, I really would have liked the breakdown to come back in at the end of the song and maybe feature Winston a bit again, you know, just doing a big scream, or even have him in the background of the last chorus, you know, as we said,
dual vocaling together.
Yeah, as we've seen, a lot of features lately have been having a bit more of a, you know, back and forth between the feature artist and the main artist and incorporating a bit more.
But let's get onto that later on in the album. On to the next one.
A dead heretic with no stone left to ever, afraid to admit it won't sustain this spirit.
Okay, Flight Without Feathers.
Track number 8. We're going to the complete other end of the spectrum of architects on this one.
Really well placed song, I think, here. As we said, you sort of had that build up, and then this is kind of that step back, but in the right direction here. You talked before about the production on the album, and they've done a lot of different things here. This is one of those songs that I think people are going to just listen to and pick up more and more every time they listen to it.
It's a very full and a very ambient song while being so pulled back and so, especially in Sam's vocal delivery, like really somber and peaceful. But from what I can get from the lyrics, it's not really that peaceful. It's kind of depressing.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of this. It's not an uplifting album by any means, but that doesn't take away from it. I think this really shows off the improvements in Sam vocals. The fact that throughout this, his falsetto is flawless. He hits those high notes so well. There is still that like really pulled back, slightly more somber, deeper vocals, but I think it's the falsetto that he really shows off, and then the layering of the vocals, the backing vocals tied in with his, really, really kind of like, it almost has like an orchestral vibe to it. It's super cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely different for them. The song goes for like what, 3 minutes 49, but listening to it, it feels super short. I found that really weird. Maybe that's because
Johnny actually had it on fast forward. He didn't realise.
Yeah, I was like, the BPM in this song is hectic, man.
It's so chill, but so fast.
Again, look, stylistically, there are a few sort of comparisons to the Bring Me the Horizon vibe, but it's definitely not a copy, and it's definitely still Architects.
Yeah, 100%.
I wanna sing you a different song, one that's easier to swallow. We can dance, we can all sing along. We can say how we all wanna be saved, but it's easier to follow.
Okay, a little Wonder featuring Mike Kerr of Royal Blood. This is the Bring Me the Horizon track on the album.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, that like synth riff in the post-chorus after there, I can't unhear Throne.
100%. It is so similar to a lot of the sounds that came out from That's the Spirit by Bring Me. It's such a hard thing here because obviously being two UK bands, both in the same scene, there's always going to be similarities drawn from them. But in no way do I think they've kind of ripped either one off, and I don't think they're trying to be anything else. I think they're just kind of progressing, and they happen to be in the same scene, so they're progressing that way together. But yeah, I definitely hear that real That's the Spirit vibe in this one.
Yeah, for sure.
I love the funky rolling bass line that kicks in on this song. Slapping the bass. I love it. It is. It's super, super cool. And it's really interesting to hear a song come in just with a bass line to start with.
The whole song has got a well, that's something that's quite different for Architects as well, which I thought was cool. It does really have like a dancey sort of pop vibe to it. Don't take that the wrong way, because it is like still full of energy. There's a lot of grit in that chorus, as you heard. I'm going to be honest, it was probably my weakest song of the album thus far until it hit that breakdown.
Okay.
Because it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I was kind of not expecting it, because I was like, okay, look, I'm kind of cool with the fact that this is a sort of more upbeat, poppy sort of song. And the breakdown was just fucking brutal.
Yeah.
It just really kicks in the face.
And I love when Johnny gets kicked in the face. It's true. One thing that kind of ties in this whole album as well, and this is something before off you will find with the album title, All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us, is there is a lot of speak of God and the divine in this song. This one particularly has, and if we miss the deadline, we can blame the divine. And there is a lot of that, like, people kind of pushing onto religion for like their escape or their savior, and they're kind of saying, look, that's not happening, which I think is really interesting. Obviously they've gone through a lot as a band, but this song here is all about climate change, and they're kind of saying, like, if we don't do something together, like, it's not, oh, that's the way that God wanted to go, we need to fix the planet. So I think it's really cool that they are using their voices to speak up about a lot of issues, and climate change is a big one on this album.
Strong messages, strong songs.
Next song is another strong one. This is the first single off the album, Animals. We've done a reaction to that one. You can check it out up there. So we're gonna move on to the next one.
We are the rust worshipping the
Man,
Yeah,
Oh,
Libertine is a
goosebumps.
song that I want to kick Johnny in the face.
shivers, hard nipples, we got it all.
God, I hate you talking about nipples. Libertine is the
Oh,
next
man.
song here. This is track, what is it? Track
11.
11. Man, we're getting through these fast.
Hell yeah.
This intro is huge. That super ominous bass line.
Yeah, another bass intro, swell.
Building, and then just straight into that
great.
vocal line of where are the rust worshipping the rain. I love that. It's such a cool, visceral image, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Again, huge, heavy riffs. Sam's trademark vocals with those big, deep screams.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's from Josh, who's going to be doing those in the background, but it just sounds so thick and so good. So if you were worried that there's not some really freaking heavy, crushing shit on this, there is.
Yeah,
Don't you worry.
There's songs that have elements throughout it, and then there's songs like this that just are going the whole time. This is one of those ones before we talked about that has both a pre and post chorus, and it's the same line, but done and delivered in different ways there. And that line is, a libertine stole the keys and drove this machine without me. Now, a libertarian, for those of you playing at home, is someone that kind of lacks morals or principles.
So, kind of like me.
This song is, this is why I want to kick you in the face, because it's about you. But essentially saying it's about people who aren't, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for everything.
And what else does this song have in it that we love, Nathan?
We love it. Goliath, featuring Simon Neil from Biffy Clyro.
Yep, fitting name because this track is absolutely huge. I love that quick strummed riff, the da-da-da-da-da-da-da with the double kicks. It's got a couple of cool little, I guess more traditional metalcore style licks in there and single note sort of movement up the fretboard, which I really dig and really love it coming in here on the album as well.
This is my surprise standout track for the album. I didn't expect it, to be honest. I've never really listened to much Biffy Clyro, and the only stuff I have heard is kind of like that radio rock friendly stuff.
Yeah, like commercial radio songs I heard turned me off them.
Yeah, I guess I just never really given them their time, but he adds something to this song that I didn't expect. His vocals here really do juxtapose so well with Sam's.
Yeah.
As you said, that riff is just bouncy and fast and has that bit more metalcore vibe to it, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, look, his vocals against Sam's just adds another level of dynamics to the album. And Sam's vocals on this whole song go through so many changes.
Yes.
Like it's great. Like he does his aggressive screaming. He does some like real melodic stuff in there. It's just super impressive.
Yeah.
Really.
We'll jump here. I've got like the 35 seconds to 41 second mark because I want to play this bit here. So the reason I put that in there was that was kind of like, for me, the standout line of the song there. We'll all be hanging a hero, praying for someone to save us. Again, this is one of those ones that he's talking about kind of everyone's waiting for someone to stand up and do something, but as soon as someone does, we're quick to judge and bring them down. So he's kind of that like call out culture again, which it's a really cool thing to speak up on because there is so much there where people try and do the right thing and then people go, oh, this person has this wrong in their past, so bring them down rather than focusing on the thing they're trying to do there.
Absolutely, and if there's anything that I can throw in on my opinion on all this sort of stuff, it's just remember that you're talking to other people and just be a nice person to them, right?
Now, I want to talk about here Simon's screams that I did not expect.
Yeah, I did. This kind of really caught me by surprise, especially where it comes in, because I like how it comes in with the vocoder into his part.
Yeah.
But then after his singing part, I was just like, what the shit, bro?
So I'm going to jump to the 2 minute 55 second mark here, just to give you a little taste of this. Again, that tie back to that riff, that super fast drumming, and then they wouldn't break their stride if we were burning alive. His delivery on that.
The delivery is so good. It almost gives me almost like a Jason Butler from Let Me sort of vibe.
Raw, energetic scream.
Super raw, man. That breakdown over that section is huge. I can 100% see some size 10 bands kissing some jawlines in a pit for that. It's gonna be great.
Story time! The last time I saw Johnny try and mosh, he was knocked on his ass by a 14-year-old kid.
He wasn't 14.
He was 13.
He was big.
Moving on to the next song.
Thanks, bro.
I've been stuck on repeat, but I'm ready.
So this is Demigod. This is a very different take for Architects.
It's very, very sounds driven.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Obviously leading with that strings that just instantly kind of drops into like an electronic driving sort of song there.
Yep. Yeah, we've got like the synth, then we've got the strings, and then you've got the just the standard keys like piano that comes in. It's all over a pretty simplistic sort of guitar progression, like chord progression, but It's just a really... Look, I'm going to be honest, this is probably my least favourite track on the album.
I thought you said the other one was.
Until the breakdown.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and
okay,
then I'm all in. We're not here a breakdown, but I'm in.
I will also agree. This is my least favourite song on the album.
It's by no means a bad song, though. It fits well, it suits well, and it's good to hear them dip their toes in other stuff and do it well.
Yeah. I like the lyrical ideas behind this song, but it didn't hit me in the same way other songs were. There was definitely lines. My favourite line in this was just like, I've been stuck on repeat, but I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. So he's kind of saying in this song, I've been trying to like speak up and do my part for the scene, and I've probably been like speaking up but not doing my part, but I'm ready to make a change there. But then it's kind of like, and I'm ready, and I'm ready, and I'm ready. So it's almost playing on that fact, being like, I've been on repeat, I've been doing it. So this is kind of Sam calling himself out there, which I think is cool.
A little bit of humility. I like that. I will just say one thing though, on saying that it's my weakest track of the album. This is by no means a reflection of that song being weak. It's a reflection of all of the other songs being stronger.
So that's a really great way of putting it. All right, the next song is Meteor, which again, we've checked out a few Architects videos.
Was my weakest of the singles, but listening into the listening to it in the context of the album like 2 or 3 times now, it fits.
Yeah, and that's
it works.
As I said before, I think they've done a really great job of the track listing and the way they've kind of arranged the songs here to make it a very flowing, interesting album the whole way through. Now, Dying is absolutely safe. This is the last track. Now, you didn't write too many notes on this one, whereas I did, because I thought this is a super interesting one, and this is one that I think that Architects fans out there will definitely quote on. It's one of those ones that's softer, more somber, and I wanted to listen to a bunch of times, and I have, because it kind of like, as soon as it's finished, I wanted more. This song starts with acoustic guitars, which is quite rare for them.
I loved that. As soon as I heard that, I loved it. I was like, oh, here we go. Like,
beautiful little intro, super simple. Sam's vocals he's not straining in any way. They're quite soft and quiet and raw. And then the keys and strings kind of build throughout it before the whole band kind of comes in almost like a choir outro.
It's really a nice progression. You're right, I didn't write too many notes on this because this, honestly, I just love listening to this one at the end of the album. I feel like it's just such a perfect end. The album goes through so many peaks and valleys. There's so many highs and lows. There's so much aggression. There's so much beauty. And then you're just left with almost a reflective sort of piece of music.
Well, it's funny you say that because speaking of reflection, the final outro bit of this song has some callbacks to previous albums and lines from the last song of previous albums. So it's the final line here I wrote down was, "Beloved distant blue, one day I'll die for you and swim in sweet serenity because death is not my enemy." That's a really cool line that kind of throws back to I can't even think of the albums right now. All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us, and why can't I think Lost Together, Lost Forever, and whatever the last one is, Death is Not Defeat. There's a line to that as well. So there is really cool callbacks to previous albums that tie in and kind of show, you know what, we're progressing, but we're still like kind of staying to that end theme. Architects often end on a more somber note on all their albums too, and I think that's something that we kind of expect, and it's always welcome for me.
Yeah, but they're always finding a way to end it on that sort of note, but
get bigger every time.
Yeah,
that's it. Every time it gets bigger and bigger. Even from like back when they did Hollow Crown, that first song, it's like the last song, the first time they did that soft thing, each time it's progressing, got bigger and bigger. I think that's really, really cool. Cool. Overall, we've never done this before. Out of 10, what are you giving it?
It's going to take a few more listens. I am going to give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. I just think that it's a really well written album. It's really well written. It's super interesting. It's super fun. You're not going to get Lost Forever. You're not going to get, All Our Gods straight pummeling heavy all the way through. But give it a chance. Take it all in. Take it for what it's worth. Take the heaviness where it's heavy. Take the beauty where it's meant to be beautiful. Tracks for me is definitely Giving Blood, just for that driving sort of nature of it, and Goliath, and of course the song with Winston, Impermanence. For me, the MVP of this album is obviously Sam, but I want to give massive props to their use of synth. Yeah. They've always had it as a sort of backing element in all of their stuff. They've really started using the synths and the electronica stuff as a full-on instrument that he's doing some really cool shit the whole way through, and it just adds a whole new dynamic to the album. It's a really good fit for them.
As Johnny said, I think for people wanting that just like straight up in your face metal, you're not going to get that. But for me, I was getting over that with Architects, to be honest. I felt like all of our gods abandoned us and holy hell, there was moments on it I forgot what song I was listening to because it all became a bit same in my ears. This album does not have that. Every song is unique, and even though it's softened up in parts, there's reasons for it, and it progresses and it flows and it has great dynamics, and I think the features really add to this album super well. I give this one 9 out of 10. And I said I'm about 4 or 5 plays into it now. When I was going through and writing these notes before, I listened to the whole album through twice, just sitting there doing nothing but listening. And man, it's a banger. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Comment below once you've listened to the album. Let us know your thoughts. If you agree with us, if you disagree with us.
Let's prove that Discourse isn't dead. Jump in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about music. We love doing that shit. We love talking about the music that we love and even stuff that we don't because it's interesting to us. If you're new here and you haven't watched us before, thanks for getting this far. Please give us a like and subscribe. Stick around. Let's talk music together.
Pat your dog, hug your mom. We love you. We think you're incredible. You're going to do great things.